Hey there, old school gamers. Good morning. It is the morning of February 23rd, 2023 as I record this. Welcome back to Grumpy Old GMs, where we try to get you what you need to expand your GMing abilities. Doing our best to address the GM shortage of GMs crisis out there and whatnot. All right, now I may be trying in the future a few different greetings on these videos. There's been a few of you in Discord that have been trying to come up with like a tribal name for our community here, like Grumpsters or Grumpies or something like that. And I'm like, I'm really touched that people want to have a tribal name if they're associated with our community. So I guess we're going to have a poll or something. I just might try some trial greetings like, hey, Grumpsters, that just doesn't sound right. Or I don't know, maybe it sounds right to you. Just hey, fellow Grumpies, whatever. Anyway, y'all are just silly, but I love you. Anyway, so let's take a look at today's thought. While I am very excited to explore the different types of tables, I did decide finally on like February 23rd to weigh in as your grumpy old GM on the OGL stuff. You're like, John, you're a little late to the party. That was all last month in January. Hello, it's over. And about that time, I was, kind of relaunching this channel. You might notice if you scroll back in YouTube that that's about the time I started doing these daily to semi-daily posts and stuff. And back then, with the OGL thing last month in January, I found a whole bunch of D&D YouTubers I'd never seen before because the YouTube algorithm just showed them to me because the YouTube algorithm noticed that I was clicking on this OGL stuff. And a lot of D&D YouTubers just had their followings go through the roof. They picked up thousands of subscribers because they were willing to report on the latest WotC gaffe, the latest WotC misstep and stuff like that. And, I wasn't really going there because that's not exactly what I'm about. I'm going to give my thoughts on it today, which don't exactly fit with other people's necessarily, but they're real and they're mine. And as to why I think it's okay to bring it up now, even though it's old news. And those YouTubers deserve it too, though. I mean, I was one of those people. Okay, I subscribed to a whole bunch of people I never even heard of till last month, and their channels are good. They deserve it, and they kept me abreast on stuff I cared about. Okay, so I cared minute by minute, blow by blow, what was going on with OGL in January, and there are people that as soon as WotC would do something stupid again, there were people that the algorithm would serve that up, and I'd click on it, because I wanted to know. So I am one of their fan audience members who signed up with them. I just decided not to do that with me and my channel. But what we're going on with here, though, the thing that matters, I've had a lot of time to think about this OGL thing, and I think it comes down to what someone as an individual or as an organization like a business can actually own. Now, for context, I am a believer in capitalism. Professional GM is a business for me. I believe in individualism. I believe in freedom. I believe in human rights on the level of each individual. Not like a communist that says, oh, we believe in human rights, but they believe in human rights for groups, because when they put people in groups, then according to the history of communism, then all of a sudden they can force themselves on people. Now, I believe in human rights on the level of the individual, each individual, all of us, each one of us, real human rights. So for context, I am a believer in capitalism, individualism, freedom, human rights on the level of the individual, etc. There are, however, capitalism, having said that I believe in capitalism, there are, however, some things that cannot be owned. Okay, no one can own and tax me on my right to pull my next breath of air from Earth's atmosphere into my lungs. No one can trademark smiling and tax me if I smile at my wife when she wakes up for breakfast here in a little bit. Nor can they tax the billions of humans every day on the earth who form that particular nonverbal expression with their facial muscles every day. You cannot, trademark, a smile. Now, intellectual property, such as copyrighted fiction, like Elminster as a fictional character, Drizzt Do'Urden as a fictional character, and their life stories in the Forgotten Realms as a fictional published place, or the Heroes of the Lance in the Dragonlance saga. Copyrighted fiction can and should certainly be owned. I myself am a published author, and I myself have sent out cease and desist letters to would-be copycats. Like I said, I am a business person, believe in freedom and ownership and all that. There are just some things that cannot be owned, though, such as how people choose to roll dice and what dice they roll and for what gaming purpose. This cannot be owned. There was a judge who decided that way back when in the TSR days, and that judge was right. So, now, one of the YouTubers, D&D YouTubers, who found us on Discord and said hello in the past few days, Supervillain Condor DM, he pointed out in a previous video that the original TSR of the 80s was concerned that people would realize en masse that published products and books and an official version of how to play, no matter how cool many of those products are, and I am an avid collector of them. I love many of them dearly, and some of them I collect just to collect them because I know I'll never get around to running them, but I want them. So I love my published products. Well, I mean, not all of them. We know a lot of them suck, but I like what I like. So, but the original TSR of the 80s was concerned that people would realize en masse that published products and books and an official version of how to play, at the end of the day, no published products are actually needed, and anyone can cook up D&D for themselves at home, just like Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson did. So I recently saw a video, and I don't remember this person. I'd like to give him credit, like I just gave Condor DM credit, but I don't remember. I've seen so many videos lately. So if this was you and I don't give you credit, I'm sorry. I really forgot. But I recently saw a video that asked the question, what does WotC really own? And the answer turned out to be a list of names, and that is all. So WotC owns names like Forgotten Realms and all the NPC fictional characters and places like I mentioned, Drizzt Do'Urden and Elminster and stuff. But you can't own the concepts of dwarves, elves, unicorns, dragons, wizards, zombies, vampires. These things are part of many cultures for thousands of years. They're extant pre-copyright law. You can't copyright the idea of an elf or a unicorn. Now, we should respect what WotC owns. Like I said, I'm a capitalist, so I will not be writing any Drizzt Do'Urden books and selling them for money, for example. That kind of behavior will and should get me sued. But the game itself, I will argue, is not really ownable. Try, though WotC might. All right, so enough preaching. I know you've heard me rant before. If you've listened to this channel for any length of time and still listen, I can rant. But this really is like my first preachy sermon. I don't plan to do a lot of these, but I was just kind of moved to today. So tomorrow we'll resume our regularly scheduled Grumpy Old GM programming, already in progress. In the meantime, if you want to see more actual GMing advice, you can check out the rest of the channel. You can contact us on Discord below. There's the whole like and subscribe spiel. And there's also our Patreon program for personal GM coaching, where I will contact you personally through Discord or telephone and coach you on your exact issues with your exact table instead of just generally teaching like I do on the internet. And